I love how you have like a nice, relaxing little candle sitting there. That's fresh.
Oh, it's needed. It's needed. Do you know what the flavor, what do you call it? The scent? The scent of this candle is lavender, rosemary, and I am so overstimulated and stressed, which actually fits with this episode perfectly. My I think it's my nervous system that is like
Mhm.
so just in fight or flight right now because I'm so busy of fun stuff again. But like I feel like we just talked about this before we got on this. We
Yeah, we wasted a conversation before we pressed record on how Maddie and I were just together a few days ago. We had a great girls' night, but ever since then, we've been go, 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 and both of us are over it today.
mhm. So I think we're gonna talk today about millennials being anxious and millennial anxiety.
I love it. Yeah, diving into the kind of stress that snuck in during timed multiplication. Multiplication? Is that how you say it?
Multiplication. Yep.
Is that how you say it?
That's a yeah, that's a
It's I
word.
said it and then I was like, "Wait, did I say that? Multiplication."
We just haven't had to say it in a very long time because when's the last time you took a timed multiplication test?
Oh, no, but those fucking got me. Those got me good every time. Anyways, we'll get into that later. Jesus, already off to a good start. Dial-up internet, buffering, MySpace top eights, which we have a lot to say on later, and everything in between. But we didn't call it anxiety back then.
We were just called dramatic. And
Yeah.
now Gen Z's like, I'm overstimulated. I need to regulate my nervous system. I love that for them. But again, we had dial up internet and parents who called therapy for crazy people. We were raw dogging our mental illness with a Lisa Frank notebook.
There was nothing even close to if we would have said, "I need a mental health day,"
Yeah. Imagine what a
we would have
boomer or
been
Gen
laughed
X
out of the
parent
room.
would say
Yeah.
about that. I do think that millennials are kind of a sacrificial generation. We could almost call them the middle child. We
Mhm.
overthink. We say no worries when we're absolutely full of worries. And we feel like it's our job to help fix every generation before us because that's what middle children do.
For sure. The amount of times I thought I had stomach issues and then come to find out that it's anxiety, and then came to find out that not only did I have anxiety, but my dad had undiagnosed anxiety, so it ran in our family.
That makes so much sense. And we grew up watching
Yeah.
our boomer parents like push everything down and like cover it up. And so I'm sure that that really wore on him.
And here my mom is being like, "Oh my god, my daughters are crazy." And my dad's probably like, "Well, I think I know where they're coming from."
And his generation didn't know how to say, you know, I'm overwhelmed or I need help. It was just not even an option 10 times over what it
Mm-mm.
is was for millennials, which was you couldn't talk about those things without sounding
Yeah.
quote unquote crazy. Since our parents were so different, I feel like we became over responsible, hyper aware, and afraid of being too much or too needy or asking for help. And that's why so many of us millennials are people pleasers. And I think most millennials would resonate with being called a people pleaser.
Absolutely. That's what I was thinking when I was kind of thinking through this episode is I am so afraid to let people down to a fault. Oh my gosh. Whereas you look at Gen Z and they're the kings and queens of setting boundaries. What are
Mhm.
those? Just kidding. I'm getting better at it, but it wasn't something that was normal when we were younger at all.
Yes, I feel like they were seen as being rude back in the day when we grew up. I will never forget my neighbor growing up got grounded for 2 weeks, I think, because she did not say hello to her teacher when they were shopping for bras at the mall. And
Oh my gosh.
that because it was rude. But
Yeah.
nowadays, that would never be an issue. I think most parents and kids would understand, you know, that's a boundary.
Yeah, I feel like we were held to some pretty high expectations as kids. The standards have changed over the years. You're right. And we have a hard time letting that go now too.
I think so. And yeah, we just didn't have that mental health awareness that they do now. And I'm happy for Gen Z and for making this a priority because I do think it is important. And you know, I will never forget when I first joined the workforce, there was a lot of flack given to millennials for asking for too much. And whoa, look how further along down the line the next generations have been. They make us look like hardworking, nose to the grindstone saints.
Yeah. That's so true. I know, I was going to say, like, so proud of Gen Z, but do we think it's overdone in a sense for Gen Z? I mean, I think obviously this generation has been raised on social media. So we can start with even how social media has influenced this whole culture of mental health and like going to TikTok for therapy sessions and things like that. It's almost like too far on the other side of the spectrum now.
I agree with you, but I do think that this will age us and we will look back and say, oh, like they were right. And things will keep progressing this way. So we do sound like grumpy old boomers. And I'm totally
Oh,
aware of
yeah.
that. But we are going through an adjustment period right now with our people in the workforce and the people around us. So I, yeah, it does irk me a little bit sometimes, but I'm also like, I just want, maybe it's because I want to be more like them.
Mhm. Yeah, I just think there's a fine line between with how sensitive you are to some things, right? And
Mhm.
sometimes I do struggle with that between the generations.
I
But
agree, and I feel like it's because we have this, "Well, I got through this, I've done it, you can totally do it too," kind of thing. So I have less
yeah,
empathy
but
sometimes.
should we have had to do some of the things we had to do and ignore some of the things we felt because we didn't feel like we could speak up about it? Absolutely not. I just think there's
Mhm,
a happy medium, but I will always err in the side of being more empathetic and compassionate when it comes to people anyways. So,
mhm,
um if we had to go one way or the other, I guess I'm with this new generation.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, you have to be because you can't go back. So you can choose to fight it or you can roll with it, and I think that everybody will see that there's a lot of really beautiful things about it. So let's dive
Mhm.
in a little bit more, but first, let's talk about what are you mad about this week?
Okay. So within the last week, we have officially hit fall weather, which is great. I wish
You
for it.
sound
So
like
I'm
it's
not
not,
gonna which is great. This is
which is
not what I'm
great.
mad about. It's so fabulous. I mean, I will say if you want me to be a little like petty bitch about this, I can be. I do think we skipped a little bit of the fall range that I tend to like, which is more like in the 60s. We're like in the 50s. Today is beautiful though. I will say that.
Mhm,
But anyways, I feel like my body was just like shocked by it. I'm just feeling very dried out already, which means it is the season of chapstick, which I am always a chapstick girly. I will have one in every room of the house, every bag I own. It will be in almost all my pants pockets. I have to check for them when I'm doing laundry. But I went to stock up on my chapstick. Do you know how much chapstick is now, Maddie?
it depends. I was gonna ask, what's your brand? What do you wear?
I tend to just stick with my Burt's Bees. There's a coconut pear one that I love, but I try to switch it up. I don't like to get too, hung up on one flavor or scent,
Are we
whatever it is.
talking so the for price-wise, can I guess, are we talking a single stick or are we talking like a 3-pack?
Guess what my single stick is that I just got last week?
For Burt's Bees, I'm gonna go like $3, like 3 maybe 3 something if we're crazy.
4.39 for a regular unscented, just the normal beeswax Burt's Bees one stick.
Wow, that's
And my
crazy.
issue my issue is that I do go through a lot of these whether I lose them or use them,
Mhm.
and I just didn't realize chapstick was gonna be such an investment for me.
Yeah,
It's
how much it did
literally I might be blowing this out of proportion, but I can't stress you enough how much I love chapstick. And
I'm
I
with
already
you.
lost that stick.
I'm
I
with
already lost
you.
that stick, and that's what got me. I was just like, "Oh my god, I'm not even gonna let people use my chapstick. This is
Well,
so expensive."
do people use people's chapstick after the age of,
Yeah.
like, 30? Like, you're sharing
Well,
chapstick still? Or after
not
COVID?
to point any not to point any fingers, but the last time I saw my chapstick was when boyfriend asked if he could use it, and I haven't seen it since. So,
Oh my gosh. Well, we know who has it.
yeah.
It's him.
Yeah, well, I asked him and he doesn't remember. He doesn't recall, so I'm just like, "Fuck, that's $5 down the drain." But anyways,
Kind of
so
reminds me of my
it's
brown
just
eyeliner that was at my house until you had it last.
dude, I
And
don't have it. I checked my bag, I only have 1.
oh
I'm
my god.
telling you, I remember you using it too, and I almost said, "Oh, are you using mine?" And then I saw you set it somewhere up by your mirror,
Huh. I
and
don't
I was like, "Oh,
know.
yeah, I actually started buying this because of her." So,
Okay.
I don't know, I was ready to ap to apologize. I was ready to I was ready to send you a picture of it because I did my makeup in the car this morning. I was ready to send you a picture of it and be like, "Busted."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey,
That'd
it's
have been
actually not here."
that'd have been great because now it's just a mystery where Lexi uses the exact same eyeliner as me. She was getting ready in my bathroom, and the next day it was gone. I don't know.
And I don't blame you because the morning after, I was a hot mess.
Yeah, I
And
mean, you left a couple of things on the
I
of your
left
own on
some
the counter.
crucial items at her house, and I also just was not I couldn't think straight. I confused a lot of things, so I don't blame you for thinking it was me. I
Yeah,
haven't found it.
that's true, but back to chapstick. Okay, number 1 thing, Burt's Bees, I think it stays too hard too long, so I'm not into that anymore, but when it's soft, it's so good.
Yeah, I always have one, like, on my body, so it's always pretty warm for
Why do I
me.
hang out with you people? Like, my best friend Brandy is the same way with Burt's Bees specifically.
Yeah, it's good, especially the mentholy, like, original one. Ah, feels so good, but my point is, it's just wild how something so small can cause so much financial stress.
I
Maybe
mean,
maybe
I
that's the real millennial anxiety here.
we've lived through quite a bit of inflation. These Gen Z
Yeah.
peeps don't even comprehend what things used to cost. They're like, "Oh, $10 for a Starbucks drink? Amazing. I'll pay that." And we're like,
Yeah. Or like,
it
"Do
used
you
to be like
know what this used to
$3."
be?" Yes, exactly. It's so hard.
Like, we
It's
used to be
so
able to
hard.
hand over 5, get change back, and now you need to hand over, like, a 10. It's crazy.
Yeah. Anyways, really dumb, but, like, it means a lot to me. That's my
It's not
math.
dumb. Can I tell you what kind of chapstick I use?
Yeah.
I buy the chapstick brand Candy Cane all year round, and I buy, like, multiple 3-packs of them because they're my favorite. Because I like the menthol,
Mhm.
but I like the softness of the chapstick brand better.
There's
But
something
the
like
candy cane version.
I have to feel like the film on my lips, and something about those, it's like your lips absorb all of it too quickly.
Oh, see, I like that. I don't like the beeswaxy
Mm-mm.
filmy. It's like
Y
it hardens.
If you were to actually watch us on the podcast, you'd probably see me smacking my lips together, like, every 2 seconds. I'd love doing that. Anyways, okay, we need to stop talking about chapstick. What are you mad about this week?
Other than my lips hurt real bad.
Like, the scales.
Can you bring my chapstick? I need to call you. Can you bring my chapstick? But my lips hurt real bad.
My lips are real.
Classic. Wow, that took a long time for me to come up with. But okay, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but I'm mad that every time I blink, there's a new Marvel show or a movie or a spin-off or a prequel to the spin-off. And I'm not a Marvel person. I don't comprehend why grown adults obsess over superhero stories and like all of these repeats. And I think I've kind of gotten into this before. I feel like it's a creative decline in Hollywood for movies that are being made, and it's relying on bringing in money instead of being creative. Just all of them. Jokes are terrible. If someone dies, like the superhero will say something like, "Ouch, well, that's going to leave a mark." And it's just the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, take a year off, stop making them, touch some grass. I'm begging you, Marvel, just stop. Stop.
See, here's the thing, Maddie. I also don't give an F about Marvel movies, and I think for that reason, I don't even know that they're they're releasing movies still. I don't see anything about them anywhere. I wouldn't have known if you wouldn't have said that.
I feel like I've gone to a movie a couple of times and there's always a new what do you call those? Preview
Preview.
for a Marvel movie, and then they kind of clog up the movie theaters
They
with
clog
these.
up. They clog up some of the theaters I could be sitting in.
Yeah, yeah, precisely. So I don't know. Grow up. Stop watching Marvel. Shit's dumb. Moving on.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you might as well be watching that Captain Underwear guy still.
To me, yes. Like,
Yeah.
and again, they're all the same. They're all in the same world. How are they new? Again, the jokes the superheroes tell are always like the same. Even like,
Yeah.
didn't you were like a Deadpool person though, weren't you? Is that Marvel? I think that's Marvel.
I mean, I watched it. Do you think I loved it?
I thought you did for some reason. But yeah,
I don't
you
think
kind of get
I loved
the joke
it.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool, yeah. I can literally hear him say, "Ooh, that's gonna leave a mark," now
Yes.
that you say that.
Thank you. I hate that so much.
Or, like, where it's, like, slow motion, he's about to, like, really F a guy up, and all of a sudden he looks at the camera and he's like, "And this is about the time where I should be thinking, what am I thinking?"
Yeah, this is about the time when I should be like, oh, but here I don't know, like, I'm gonna kick some ass. It's like
But
something,
watch this baby roll, and then it
yeah,
just goes back, and it's just like, Yeah, I get what you're
something
saying.
gets so funny. And it's like, I could have written that. Like,
Yeah, they all
gnarly.
that's so cringy to me when I'm at a movie that I don't respect and people are, like, laughing out loud together in a theater. I literally look at everyone like, and it's such a hater thing, but it's so
It
cringy
is,
to me.
but I love it.
You know what I mean? Where
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Well,
just
it's
like,
like last
I'm
night.
watching people, I'm seeing the back, like, the backslash side of their head as they're stuffing popcorn being like,
And I'm like, you simple bitch.
make them try harder than that.
Yes. Yeah. So,
Come on, let's challenge Hollywood, guys.
yeah. Come out with some new shit.
New shit. Think of something on your own.
I think if you love, love, love Marvel, maybe you're not listening to this podcast though, but maybe you are. Prove us
Let us
wrong.
know if we have some crossover listeners. I'm so sorry.
This is the intersection of Marvel and Why You're Mad. It's interesting.
What do you think the Marvel movie would be that people would like us and Marvel too? It'd probably be something like Deadpool, wouldn't you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, I could never do like I mean, I could do like an OG Spider-Man with like Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst. But other than that, that's like a rom-com pretty much though, you know?
Yeah,
I don't know.
true. Not a little melty face.
And yeah, I don't know. Even I've tried the Guardians of the Galaxy one time, terrible. And it was like great friends of mine are like, this movie is amazing. Watch it. And I was jaw on the floor trying to watch this movie that they suggested to me, and I ended it early. I couldn't do it.
What about I did like Dark Knight. Is that different?
I think I liked Dark Knight, but I don't know if that was Marvel.
I don't know the difference.
Let's see, is Dark Knight Marvel?
I'm gonna be honest, I've never been like, I want to see this movie if there's an action figure in it. Just
I have an answer for you.
What is it?
No, The Dark Knight is not a Marvel property. It is DC Comics, which is why it's good.
Okay.
So yeah, I can confidently now especially say I don't like Marvel. But anyways, let's move on.
Anyways,
Too much
that's a
time
good
on
one.
Marvel. They get enough
And
spotlight.
Chapstick and Marvel. So thanks for joining us today, guys. It's all about Chapstick and Marvel
and anxiety.
and more. If you guys are still here,
Welcome if you
let's
are.
get back to it. Welcome if you are. No, sorry guys. Too many inside jokes.
Ugh.
Just like the scales thing.
You just made me cringe so bad. Sorry guys, too many inside jokes.
Scale.
Wait, this is a great segue. School anxiety growing up in the 90s and 2000s. People had secrets and would antagonize others. I'm just kidding. Like inside jokes. Others had inside jokes that you weren't let in on.
Yeah, the school was supposed to be simple, but for a lot of us, it was our first exposure to anxiety, and I can attest to that.
Yes, we had time test, physical fitness requirements, and class participation that felt like public humiliation back in the day for some.
Mhm.
Let's first talk about the time test that we were talking about earlier, the
Yeah.
multiplication
Yes.
tests. How did you feel about those?
Yeah. Well, I already kind of gave probably a nice little hint that I wasn't a fan. But I wasn't a fan of math in general. But what's the point of making me do it real fast? I didn't like that. It felt like we were just pinning ourselves against each other. And like I mentioned, I always had like a kid that was really good at math sitting near me that would make a lot of noise, disrupt my ADHD, and flip over their paper before I got halfway through the test. It was humiliating and it sent my heart rate through the roof.
Oh my
How did
goodness.
you feel about it?
I was the kid sitting next to you, racing my little panties off. I was I was balls to the walls, trying to do that time test as fast as possible and be the first one up there.
Yeah. Did it
A
really set you far ahead in life?
Absolutely. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it did ignite this competitive nature in me, which isn't always a good thing, but, it
Mhm.
did make me feel anxious, right? Like, that's
Yeah.
probably, like, when that first, like, anxiety of, like, of trying to get things done really, really quickly and probably trying to do too much, like you said, first
Mhm.
really started.
Yeah, well, it probably depended on how good you were at math too, because you mentioned the gym pacer test, and
Mhm.
I actually did like that, but that's because I was an athlete. However, can we talk about the difference between gym class when we were kids and how Gen Z gets to do gym class now?
Okay,
Because
tell
I
me
don't
about Gen Z gym class. I don't know anything about it.
I was just gonna say, I'm not sure exactly what they do now. Maybe we could phone a Gen Zer in. However, I can tell you there's no way they can get away with doing what they did to us
You're
back
right.
then.
Dude,
Like, I can just tell you I mentioned the sensitivity thing, like, there's no way they could be pulling that shit nowadays.
I just had this flashback. They used to take pieces of your fat on your side and measure it with, like, it looked like a protractor type of item. Do you know what I'm
The
talking about?
BMI. They were doing our BMI. Yes, we would wait in line to get weighed and pinched, and then we would do this pacer test, and they would separate us into 3 different levels for gym class. And you can guess, like, I was like, "If I'm not in the highest class, what the fuck? Who am I?"
Let's, like, go back to the beginning. For those who don't know, there's 2 tests. There's the PACER test, and then there was the presidential fitness test.
Yes. So if you were lucky enough to not have to go through the pacers for gym class, it was basically this beep, this beep that will haunt your dreams for the rest of your life.
Was it, like,
You're
long
lined
and
up
slow?
on y you're lined up on
Did
one side of yes, toot. Everyone was lined up on one side of the gym, and when the beep went, you had to run to the other side of the gym. Then you turn around and wait for the beep again, where you would proceed to just keep running back and forth. However, this beep would start to speed up a little bit over time, and you would get very did it speed up or did I slow down?
it
Maybe I'm
started
remembering that
speeding
wrong.
I believe it starts speeding up, and then kids
Okay.
start dropping like flies.
Oh, yeah, if you don't make it to the other line before the next beep, you're out of there. So, I can't even remember what a good score was back then, but all I cared about was being the last woman standing. That's all I cared about. And the real messed up thing was you had to get so many beeps or be in the top percentage to be in the very highest level class. And then at the end of the year, if you didn't beat the pacer score that you got at the beginning of the year, you didn't get a good grade. So I was basically screwing myself out of a good grade by being competitive because I could have easily just gotten a decent score so that I could easily beat it at the end of the year. And instead, I always push myself. I can still taste my throat. Do you know what I mean by that?
The dryness.
Yes, when your throat is, like, raw from just being miserable with cardio.
Oh my god, and
I'm
guess what? We didn't even have water bottles back then. We just used the
No,
drinking fountain.
drinking fountain, yes, and you had to wait in line, and then you felt like you couldn't slurp to your satisfaction because someone was waiting behind you.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Do you remember, like, the lines people would say, like, "Quit drinking or it'll run out on the rest of us," and, like, people would say, like, all these quirky little one-liners.
What there
"Save some for the
was
rest of us,"
same some for the fishies.
or
Um,
something.
yes, so gym class was just pure humiliation and torture back then, and it
Okay,
wasn't always
so
like that.
yeah, so what our high school had was 1, 2, and 3. So if you're in the highest gym class, you get to do fun games like 3 days a week, right? And if you're in the
Mhm.
second middle, you get to do fun games like 1 or 2 days a week. And then the last class had to do conditioning and physical fitness every single day.
And, like, when we say that, like, I would look outside and they would be running hills,
Yeah.
like boot camp, you guys, in their sweaty little uniforms
And it
that
was the Cookie Monster girls, you know,
oh
like
my
they were
god,
being
yeah,
tortured. Sorry, girls. You
yes.
didn't deserve that.
It was
Just
sad. I mean, even as someone that was in shape, I was humiliated just from when we had to do cardio. They would have us run bleachers. I remember thinking like, "Why? Why?" I don't
Yeah.
know.
And then in elementary school, I think this is what the presidential fitness test was, is basically there was all these different like flexibility things that they would do and the
Yes.
pull-ups. Do you remember the box that you would put your feet up against and then try to see how
Mhm.
far you can stretch and what number you got? That was crazy. I would
Nothing
love to see what I
compared
got.
to nothing compared to the rope, though. Did you have to do the rope?
I mean, I had to attempt. I could not do the rope.
We had to climb a rope, like, all the way to the gym ceiling without any harness or anything. It's kind of dangerous. What if someone just let go? They had, like, an inch thick mat underneath us, and that was it.
Mhm. Yeah, that was wild. I forgot about that. And then as a woman, you were supposed to be able to do a pull-up. I
Yeah,
still have never been able to do one in my life.
a pull-up, and then they would see how many crunches you could do in a certain amount of time,
Mhm.
push-ups. Yeah, that was brutal in elementary school. Like,
Mhm.
lots of kids had never even been taught how to do that yet, and we were getting tested on it.
Weird stuff, man. Weird stuff. But
Weird
yeah,
times.
I was into sports, so for me this wasn't super anxiety inducing whatsoever, but if you were not, I can't even fathom how bad this would be for certain subsets of people who weren't athletic, which is okay
I
not
wish
to be
I knew what
athletic.
they
Like
I wish I knew what Gen Z did now.
we're gonna have to we're gonna have to follow up on this because 'cause I'm
Yeah,
not
I don't
sure.
know any.
Okay, so moving back into the classroom, I know that you have talked about this in the past. Reading aloud in class, and when they would call it like popcorn, where they would randomly pick someone to read the next paragraph. You said that you struggled.
I was one of the good I say this, I'm quoting the air guys. I was one of the good readers in class, but my anxiety would still have me like nervous for when I would get picked. What if there was a word that I didn't know in it? And so I was always trying to read ahead and was never actually listening to whoever was reading at the time.
Yeah, because
It sent again, yeah.
those rat bastard kids back in the day would snicker if you said something wrong. I feel like
Well, yeah, for fucking sure, those little assholes,
my husband.
and then the ones that didn't read so good got the short paragraph, so I knew I was always gonna get one of the longer ones. So I was always
Yeah.
reading ahead, being like, "Oh my gosh, which one are they gonna make me read?"
My husband Kurt said that like when they went in like the same progression, he would find what paragraph was his and then just start reading it ahead of time so like he was ready to go when it was time.
Yeah,
It's like I feel bad for you.
absolutely. Yeah.
That's anxiety. That's straight
That's anxiety, and we
anxiety.
didn't know what it was. We were
Mhm.
like, "Oh my gosh, we're so alone. Why do I feel this way? I feel so alone and feeling like this. Everyone else seems so chill that they're about to read out loud, and I can't
Mhm.
handle it."
Mhm. Yeah.
Yes, but this wasn't one of the examples, but I remember having the worst anxiety when you would on the first day of school when they would give you your, assigned seats.
Mm.
And it always took me like a week to get comfortable sitting next to the people I was sitting next to. I don't know why. I remember just sweating, especially if they sat me next to a crush, like or nearby a crush. I would be sweating through my clothes. It was terrible.
Oh, yeah, and then if you were wearing shorts, your legs would stick to those chairs in the
Yeah,
sweaty.
and I also was always so careful not to get the indentations from the chairs on my thighs. You know what I'm talking about? Like if you
Yeah,
stood up, you would have the front of the chair pressed into your yeah, so I would be like sitting on my hands on top of it to try to prevent
that is anxiety. I didn't that's
yeah,
terrible.
it was always so bad and it always had me feeling like I was about to shit my pants. Like
And you're
that
trying
was
to
the worst part.
learn, and but
I'm
yet you're
sitting
worried about
there
your thigh.
sweating I'm sweating, being like, "Can they tell I'm sweating? I'm also might shit my pants. Am I gonna shit my pants or does my stomach hurt? Oh my god, can this person see that this is happening to me internally right now? I'm miserable." And then, yes, wouldn't listen to anything and would probably get called on, and I wouldn't be able to answer or even comprehend where we were at. It was this endless cycle. It was terrible.
Maybe you don't have ADHD, maybe you have anxiety.
I have both. It's very because even when I'm comfortable, then I still have a hard time paying attention. But yeah, and that wouldn't last forever. That was always like just at the very beginning when I was trying to get comfortable with my surroundings and with around the people that I was, because it was always new people too. We were in a pretty big class. Both for junior high and high school. So, in a lot of cases, there were strangers that I was getting sat by,
Yeah. Mhm.
and I struggled.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Um,
do you guys feel bad for me?
I don't remember how I felt about that, so I don't really have anything to add.
You're probably normal and just sat in the chair and didn't think anything of it.
I'm sure, like, as I got older, I struggled with people looking at me and things like that at first. I get what you're
Yeah.
saying about that, but,
Mhm.
other than that, I think, like, more of the school, like, the classroom, like, school situations gave me more anxiety. Like, I, again, am ADHD, terrible procrastinator. Like, I remember every time I had a project or presentation, the night before, I would have to stay up till midnight or 1 AM, even in elementary school, working on my projects because I just could not get them done in time. And like my expectation was to get A's. And so I had to like full send it. Like, but and that was
I
anxiety
understand what
inducing.
you're saying. I think that's a common ADHD thing where you have a hard time proactively getting things done, so you wait closer to the deadline. But then yes, I'm the same way where I'm a perfectionist. And so all of a sudden you're hauling ass, putting everything into something. I remember my mom always saying, "Well, if you cared this much, why'd you put it off for so long?"
Yep, like making those trifold boards
Yeah.
at midnight, like, with the glue and printing things out on your old computer and try
Mhm.
to oh, yeah, and then, I think parent-teacher conferences were the only other things that, like, gave me, like, major anxiety for some
Oh, no.
reason.
I loved those. I loved parent-teacher conferences, and it was because I was a good student, so I just loved sitting there and hearing teachers tell my parents but also my mom, like, kinda knew a lot of the
Yeah.
teachers for the most part and stuff, so it wasn't like it wasn't a big deal to me. I was just like, "Yep, tell them how great of a kid I am while I'm here because they think I'm a shit pot at home."
I seriously was, like, the perfect student, like, they would say,
Yeah.
like, "She's a joy to have in class, da da da," but it was, like, the merging of my 2 worlds, like, my home world and my teacher world, and I
Oh,
hated
yeah.
them meeting because, like, I don't know, I just didn't want them hearing about how I was at school. Like, I'll never forget do you remember, social studies in, like it had to be, like, 7th grade, there was this teacher with the short, dark brown hair, Schumeyer or something like that. Do you know who I'm talking about?
7th grade social studies, that was Mr. Schwindinger.
Oh, sorry, 8th grade then.
8th grade social studies.
Schumeyer? Super cute, short brown hair, you can
Oh,
edit
yes.
it out.
Okay.
So
Yes.
and she's like, "Maddie's so funny, she, like, got everyone in the class into listening to this record that we listened to, and so she makes me play this song for the class every single day," and I'm like, in my head, like, I could not believe she was telling my dad this. For some reason, it's not that big of a deal, but again, I just
Oh,
didn't
that's
want
so
the 2
weird for
worlds to
you.
merge. I don't know why. So,
That's
anxiety.
funny. That's funny. Yeah, no, I just a lot of times it would be like, "She talks too much." That was what
Yes.
I always got. "She talks too much." But she's great, she's polite, she's doing well, she just needs to stop keeping other kids off of track.
Still relatable.
Yes. And now here we are with a podcast. So, what's up now, teachers?
Yes. Okay, one more question about school. I don't know if you have anything else, but I want to ask, do kids still have to ask to go to the bathroom?
Mm. The hall pass.
That do they I remember having to ask to go to the bathroom, hated that, hated asking, gave me
Yes.
anxiety.
I hated asking too, to the point where I was like, do I have to pee or am I just scared to ask if I can go to pee and it's making me actually think I have to pee even more?
Yeah. I just didn't want people to like think I'm going to the bathroom.
Yeah. Oh, that's true too. You were like, do they think I'm pooping?
Can I go potty?
I'm gonna go bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
I gotta go bathroom.
I gotta go potty. Next, I want to talk about how we became anxious due to our digital age and the early internet being a war zone. So, our generation started off with no internet and no smartphones. I didn't have a smartphone until like mid post college age. So, we had to assimilate to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that has changed who we are as a generation as well. Millennials are the last living generation that will have the memory of having no internet.
That is insane. And I barely remember before no internet too. It was like I became alive when we started being able to dial up.
Mhm. I remember in elementary doing a lot of reports and things like that, literally doing reports, but sourcing on our reference sheet or our
Yeah.
bibliography, the encyclopedia. Like, what the fuck
Mhm.
did we get out of that 10-sentence piece of the encyclopedia to write a
Exactly.
paper, dude?
But
Sounds
then isn't
easy.
it weird? Isn't it also weird to think that like we couldn't just save our files somewhere and send them to ourselves? We had the floppy disks. We always had to have floppy disks with us on the first day of school too because we had to save everything to those.
Mhm. Very
Oh my
dispensable,
god.
very breakable. Now
Mhm.
our technology is so much more reliable than it was back then. So that time period of it going from like less digital to digital had a lot of hiccups in the meantime.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Do you remember
And
pop-up ads? Like, do you remember when they used to just go crazy and ruin a computer?
yes, I remember if you got a virus too.
That's what it was. Yeah, you got a virus and like the
Yeah, you
pop-ups
got a
would be
virus and it would just pop up windows would just fill your whole screen and you'd immediately be like, "Fuck, wasn't me."
well,
But
how do you think you got that virus in the first place? It was
right.
probably because of LimeWire.
Usually LimeWire for sure, or, joining a chat room where someone it sounds like an STD, someone got you a virus somehow, they would put links in there, and if you clicked on them,
Mhm.
oh.
Mhm. And we were the first generation to be instantly available at all times to our peers and our parents
Mhm.
and whoever wanted to reach us. We had you know, ways to reach each other via internet, email, telephone. We were the first people with like trying to figure out the rules of just using a cell phone and what etiquette is with that. Like we came up with these rules. So,
Yep. You can email me at hotmail.com, which you can still email Adam Klein at hotmail.com apparently.
yeah.
Or you can find me on AIM. If I'm not there, go ahead and send a message to my away message. That's fine. I'll get back to you when I get back to my computer.
Mhm.
And a few of us were lucky enough to have phones at a pretty young age. I think I got my first Kyocera phone
But
in
that's not a
7th grade.
smartphone.
No, but you could still reach me.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got my
Yep.
first phone probably when I was 14 or so. First
Yeah.
phone. But I remember even then, like, again, our parents could reach us, whereas like the generation before us really didn't have to worry about that. If they were at a party or whatever, like they weren't waiting for this like scary text or this scary ringtone to go off at 11 o'clock to say, you're busted, get the fuck home or whatever. Like they were out for
Mhm.
the night, whatever was going to happen was going to happen. Like there's not this constant feeling of like maybe someone's trying to reach you or your phone could ring at any minute. And I think that really, really changed everything, to be honest.
Mhm. Oh, for sure.
I'll
For
never
sure.
forget getting, like, called home a couple times when we got to be older in high school. Um, like, our friend Daria's parents called and said, like, "I noticed you're not here, get home," and it's like, yeah, anxiety inducing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was much more fun when they couldn't reach you. You just had to get out of their sight, and then you were free
Mhm,
until you had to be home. It was like, "Be home by this time." What a world we lived in.
mhm, and if you were running a little late, they couldn't call you. They couldn't ask where you're at. You had time to make up a story.
You had time. Some of us had time. I never got good at that part.
But dude, you know what Gen Z has? Life 360, or is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Their
they can't
parents
get
know
away
where
with
they
shit.
are,
Yes. They always know where they are.
which isn't terrible for parents, but man, come on, let them off the leash a little bit. What's the worst that's gonna happen?
I don't know. I just feel like if I wouldn't have gone through half the shit that I went through when my parents thought I was doing something else, I wouldn't be who I am today.
Mhm,
It
yeah,
really helped shape me. I
and
learned a lot from that.
and become your own person. I also think that because we are the first generation to really lean into social media, we had to also figure out the limits and the boundaries for those. MySpace, that was like the first interaction with a social network type of situation. And again, there
Mhm.
were no rules. There was top eights. You were literally ranking your friends from 1 to 8 in order. That's
And
anxiety
we were
inducing.
not kind about it. If you said one thing to piss me off, I was swapping you were going down a spot. You know what I mean? We were it said a lot. Your top 8 said a lot. And yeah, when you put it that way, ranking your best friends,
From 1 to
your
8,
fave,
brutal.
that's fucking brutal. Yes,
Social
brutal.
warfare.
Yes. That I could have gone without, the top 8. However, I feel bad for anyone that didn't get to build their MySpace profile page. What a fun time that was. From choosing
Mhm.
your song, like your life depended on it. I changed mine up frequently according to my mood. The backgrounds you coded. I know we talked about this before, but it's one of my favorite parts of our youth, honestly.
Oh, yeah, we all know HTML, and also, I guess I learned quickly that you do need to choose your profile MySpace song really well, because I'll never forget one time our friend Kelly told me that when she first met me, she met me a couple times, she noticed that my MySpace song was "Don't Ya" by the Pussycat Dolls, and
I
she thought that since I chose that, I was conceited, and if you knew me then, I was not.
Maddie, whenever I hear that song, I still, like, can imagine your profile in my head.
What?
It was very out of character for you, I would say. I'm not sure what you were thinking.
I thought it was just a fun song. Again,
And
lesson
also,
learned. It's
not
supposed to
only that
describe
song,
you.
but
I didn't know. I thought it was a fun, popular song at the time.
it
I didn't
also,
make
I
it
don't know why, but
political.
just today, I was listening to Clay Aiken, If I Were
Stop.
Invisible. I was listening to the radio of that song. Okay, so Maddie and I just remembered that song randomly, and I can't get over the lyrics. I think it's so funny, but also it's nostalgic. So I went to Invisible Radio
Okay, so we're in
and
Des
this
Moines. First, we're in Des Moines for the day. Lexi came down.
in
We're
a
at this
cheese
nice
shop.
little cheese shop, and we've had like 2 drinks. So we're not like drunk, but
We're
like
fine, but I'm also like
but
I'm like, all right, let's go. We're on
we
our way up. We're on our way up.
we get silly together. And we kind of feed off each other. So we're singing this song in the middle of this place, which, sorry if you were there, we were probably really annoying.
Yeah.
And Lexi just pulls out the banger last line. So the song is, "If I was invisible, I would just watch you in
Watch
your
you in
room."
the room.
And then, well, how does it end?
Make you mine tonight. It ends with if I were invisible. Wait, I already am.
Damn,
And when
Clay.
we got to that line, we were both like, oh my God.
Mic
Those
drop.
lyrics.
Mic drop,
Yes.
play Aiken. Wait, I already am? You're gonna end with that? What a
Amazing.
period.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Again, remember him and Ruben going at it. American Idol, like 2023,
Oh,
maybe?
there were posters, Aiken for Clay. And newsflash, later he came out as gay, which nobody was shocked about. Like, he had to come out, like,
Oh,
we're like, honey, you didn't have to come out. We
yeah.
already knew. It's
We were
okay.
like, we knew, babe. But anyways, so yes, I was listening to that radio, which if you get a chance, listen to it. It's a great throwback playlist. But one of the songs that also came on that I immediately thought of you was "It's About to Be a What? Girl
Girl
Fight."
fight. So that's the time period. Okay, okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Anyways, woo, we got off track with that one. But yes, MySpace song. I always remembered like My Chemical Romance. I'm not okay because at the time I thought I stood on that.
And I'm getting judged for Don't You by the Pussycat Dolls.
Yeah. Well, mine was cooler. I'm just kidding. But anyways,
Okay,
yes,
one thing I want to bring
MySpace
up really quick is the chain emails. Do you remember chain emails from back in the day that were like someone
yes.
like a really, really long, sad story? And it's
Yes.
like, if you don't forward this on to 10 people,
You're fucking dead.
you're dead. You're gonna have bad luck for 10 years. You're gonna be dead. The amount of people that sent those out, we had no idea what we were doing with this internet, you guys.
No.
It's hilarious. It's
And
hilarious.
I was always low key resentful of the person that dare include me in the chain. It was like this weird combination of, wow, I'm honored you thought of me, but also how fucking dare you put
'Cause
this on me?
yes, because understand you're completely trying to save your ass, and now I'm gonna have to send this on to 10 people, and I'm putting their lives in danger as well.
Yeah, and guess what? No repeats. 10 new people, okay? And then sometimes it was, like, really scary, like, they'd be like, "This little girl's gonna show up in your room tonight and kill you if you don't." And yeah, that haunted me.
Hmm. Yeah, I had to bring those up because those are anxiety causers.
Triggers.
Yeah,
Yes, causers.
triggers.
I like anxiety causers better, honestly.
Yeah.
It was great. And then I see one I do identify with, burning CDs perfectly. The amount of stress. I was the CD burner of the friend group because I also eventually was the car driver of the friend group. I just always have liked having my car on me, probably because I had terrible anxiety and wanted a way to leave. I'm still like that to this day. I will sign up to drive every single time, have my car with me. It makes me feel better. But anyways, trying to come up with the perfect burned CD list, and you couldn't just go like astray. It had to make sense. All the songs had to like have some sort of alignment, and even the order you put them in. So crucial. Anxiety.
Yeah, you're trying to set a vibe. Start off
Yeah.
with fun poppy songs. If I'm not, I mean, I think the first one always had to be a banger.
Yes. Yes. I'm trying to create an experience for my friends in my vehicle.
Yeah, start high, get them,
Hmm.
take them down a little bit, flow a little
Hmm.
bit, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful skill to have, and I think you nailed it.
Yeah, I'll never forget when your dad asked me to help him burn a CD for his girlfriend at the time, and all he cared about having on it was "Beautiful Soul" by Jesse McCartney.
I think
He's
that's
like,
the
"Yeah, we really like that song. That's our song."
he's like, "What? She has a beautiful soul." Because I think we
Yeah,
were
I was like,
laughing
"Do you
like,
just want me to put this song on this 10 times, or what else would you like?"
that was so funny. It's such a great
It was,
memory. It's
but I was
hilarious.
honored. I was honored to be a part of it,
This
honestly.
the song choice is just fucking hilarious.
We probably you know what else we probably added to it? That I was fucking high.
Oh, I hated that song. I never liked it. James Blunt, people.
Yes.
James Blunt. He had a moment. That was a big MySpace song as well.
That was.
And
Did I
Summer
say those
Love by
lyrics
Justin
right?
Timberlake was another one, if I remember correctly.
Well, you loved that. I remember all of your shit was like, JT is back. You were so pumped.
So it's funny because one of the girls at work has been listening to Summer Love by him, the same song I was just talking about. And she goes, "Oh, the song's so good." And I was like, this was one of my MySpace songs back in the day. It was great then, too. So it's back.
It's back again.
JT's back again with that same song. Yeah, they're listening to
Are
it
you
again.
sure this isn't like that last time he was back? And
He was back then
Believe.
too. He was bringing sexy back.
He was. I remember that premiering, like, I heard it for the first time at the Dubuque County Fair while I was waiting in line for the ship ride. It was good
Oh,
vibe.
fair memories. Anyways, we gotta
Mhm.
keep moving here, Lex. So
Let's
sorry.
How you doing? Keep it moving. You're right, we need to keep moving. Let's move into social survival, which was always what almost took me down every time.
Yeah, I think every generation has struggled with this. I do think that we did have it a little bit worse than our Gen Z and Gen Alpha counterparts, but I could be totally, totally wrong here. I'm sure they have their own issues.
I think they have their own issues. I think the whole point is that they can be a little more open about it than we were. For us, it wasn't this well-known thing. We didn't know what to blame it on. We just knew we had these underlying feelings and felt so much, but felt like we couldn't put it into words or no one would understand. Where
Mhm.
now it's just much more out there and understandable.
Yes, and
If
they're
that
better
does
at
that make sense?
communicating openly in general, and I
Yeah.
feel like we were lucky to not go to school at the time that, like, the boomers or Gen X did. That was when bullying was at, like, an all-time, like, brutalness where I feel like there were social hierarchies that were very structured, right? Like, the
Mhm.
popular and the not. Whereas, like,
Yeah.
it kinda started getting more fluid with us, and I'm assuming it's probably toned down even more so in the next
Mhm.
generation, but again, could be wrong. So I'm sure that we can all kind of collaborate and all relate to some of these things. But okay, first thing, remember walking into the lunchroom like the first day of lunch, and it changed every semester or trimester, whatever you had, and trying to figure out who you were going to sit with. That's terrifying.
Yes. No, it was terrifying, finding your friend group you're gonna sit with, but then even after you found your friend group, there was still this urgency of, like, "I need to get released to lunch, so I for sure have the spot, and I'm sitting by the people in the group I wanna sit with," or, like, "What if someone takes my spot today?" For me, lunch was always an anxiety.
Really. I don't
Mhm.
I remember being scared at first, but once I had, like, my spot, it was like, "Okay, I'm good." But I didn't have a ton of friends in my house or whatever you wanna call it, like, my lunch hour and stuff, so I was lucky enough to have found a group every time, but it was ugh, I would never go back to that
We
time.
sat by each other at lunch for a little bit in junior high.
Mhm. Yeah, I think maybe I don't remember who you would have been friends with that I was, but somehow we, like, ended up having
I
a
think
mutual.
I think it was, Emily Schnee.
Okay. Yep, that would make sense because I sat with
Yeah,
Sam and Emily, I believe.
yes, and then Maggie was in our house too, and I think that's how we were all at the same table. You were kind of across from us. Sometimes you would engage with us, but, like,
Yeah.
not all the time.
Yeah, I didn't really like you. I'm just kidding, I just didn't really know you.
The worst anxiety I've ever had, one of them was when we sat next to each other in biology and you wrote my name on a desk and we came back the next day and people, like, wrote things off of my name, like, saying horsehair, and then we
Um,
found out who it was too. It was,
yep.
like, horsehair and something else, and I was like, it fucking stung my core.
Dude, what are the chances that that person sat in the same table? Lexi,
She was so mean to me. Like, it was actually my high school bully too. Like, what were the odds?
did I tell you about the funeral I went to last week and who the guy that was serving the wine and Eucharist was?
Was it
Mr. Tulari. It was
Oh!
him. I saw
You
him in
told
the
me about the
flesh.
golf coach, but you didn't tell me about Talar.
I saw both of them at the same event. It was the event of
That
the
is
year. I'm just
crazy.
kidding. It was horrible. It was a funeral. But I saw Mr. Tulari and Mr. Mason at the same place.
Ah,
It was mind blowing. He looks exactly the same. Amazing.
how?
One more thing I want to bring up, unless you have anything else, but I want to bring up babysitting at other people's houses and how scary it was, and how it's like the first time you're at somebody else's house alone, not being familiar with the space. And that is true. I remember almost calling parents to, like, come back to their kid because I wanted to go home so bad.
Yeah, after the kid went to sleep, that was always like, "Can time speed up? I'm done here. Get me out of here. Where the fuck are these parents at?" And I think we both have talked about before how we've actually babysat for teachers.
Mhm.
And so that's always weird too, getting a glimpse of like a teacher's home and intercept. You talked about how it was weird to intercept your lives at conferences. Okay, what about going to their home to watch their children?
I had no qualms at the time until, like, afterwards, and then I was like, "Oh, I've been to your house. This is kinda weird. I wish we
Yeah.
still had that wall up."
Yeah, that separation. I'll never forget babysat for my German teacher, and she left me, like, 2 loaves of bread and a tub of Nutella, and I downed the whole thing in one night of babysitting.
Oh my god.
I know. I was like, "Well, I hope this is what you left this here for because it's gone."
I'm sure she was fine.
But is babysitting still the same anymore?
I think it is, and I think they're actually making a lot more money nowadays, so I'm kind of jealous. I think I was talking to somebody and they said, like, it's like $10 an hour sometimes. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's pretty awesome. We got, like, 3.
No, that's a good bring up. It's a good bring.
But yeah. Okay, so end of story. We're millennials. This is how we learned to start masking our anxiety. We were told to push it down, push it down. And here we are, all figuring out for the first time how to heal some of these heal some of these things that we've pushed so deep inside of us.
Yep. Those tendencies followed us into adulthood, and we call it high functioning now.
I know. Okay, so I have a good closing question for you.
Okay.
Do you think that Gen Z actually benefits from the work we've done, or are they starting a whole new cycle of their own pressures?
That's a great question. Um, I think they do benefit. I think the openness that I mentioned before is because of us, you
Mhm.
know? We may not have been completely open, but we made a lot of progress. And I think especially with mental health and being open about it, that I feel like towards the end of our high school experience is when that started being brought to life. We were losing a lot of classmates to mental health issues, and I do think that that part of the reason they have such an open and supportive community for mental health is because we escalated it a little bit, but I think they've taken it a lot further than we did, but we started it.
I agree. I do think we're the catalyst and they have benefited from that.
Mhm.
Um, I think they've also taken on a lot of our anxiety as well.
Mhm.
But I also think that they're gonna do some cool things even for the next coming generations too. But again, I think Gen Alpha will see a lot of unique pressures that we can't even fathom because they don't exist yet. So it'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see.
I know, and I'm excited to see it. I mean, even last week in our adulting episode, we talked about how our generation is just living more authentically, not on any other timeline, not needing to do things in a certain order. And I just can't wait to see how that continues with this generation because gosh, who would have thought that we would be the ones to kind of break away with that? And
Mhm.
they're completely doing their own thing in every other avenue. So excited to see what adulting looks like for them when they get there,
Agreed.
honestly.
We can't even fathom it because our grandparents and our great grandparents, especially as women, could not have seen us in this day and age doing what women do. And even
Mhm.
men, not, being more self aware in general. So it'll be cool to see what happens. So,
I Yay. Yay.
yay.
Two generations coming together.
3,
Just
4.
stop telling me how to dress. That's all I have.
Yeah, we started everything. You stop telling us how to dress, but like, you're literally wearing what I wore on my first day of
Yeah,
sophomore year, okay?
exactly.
Like,
And you guys are doing it wrong.
who's cool now?
Yeah. Who fucking wants to be who now?
Who did it first?
We'll leave you with that.
But just don't do the who wore it better because you guys totally did, but
Yeah,
whatever.
that's true. We don't need to include that. We'll cut that.
Well, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to follow us for new episodes every single Friday.
Yes, and make sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Wait You're Mad.
Bye.
Bye.